This is Talk of the Town, a weekly program featuring community events happening in and around Northeast Michigan, with your host, Nancy Smitham, and get the latest from Alpena Community College with Dr. Don McMaster. And now, today's Talk of the Town.
Good morning and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Nancy Smitham. My first two guests are both from Alpena Civic Theater. I have Bill Powell and Ryan Heath. Good morning, both of you.
Good morning, Nancy.
Good morning.
Good. Hey, Bill, I'm going to let you say the name of the production that we're going to be talking about.
Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead.
Sounds like a great production. So what kind of a play is it?
It was written by Tom Stoppard. It was first performed in about 67, 68. He even tells you in his notes in the play that it's a comedy. It's supposed to be a comedy.
Okay.
It's been called by other people a tragicomedy or an existential tragicomedy.
Okay.
It's or absurdist, but it's a wonderful play. It's very funny. The writing is tremendous. It's one of the first plays that Stoppard ever wrote, and it's the story. Actually, it's the retelling of Hamlet.
Oh, okay.
But seen from the perspective of the two most minor characters in Hamlet, who are Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, and they were, if you'll recall Hamlet, they were the friends of Hamlet from an early age who are summoned to the court to find out what afflicts Hamlet, to draw him out. And so we sort of see the play Hamlet almost in the background and intersecting in the action from Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, but the entire play is told from their perspective.
Wonderful. So Ryan, tell me about your character.
Well, I play Guildenstern, and between Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, in Hamlet, they were basically a lot alike. You didn't really get to know them because they were such minor characters, so they were both basically the same, with just different names. No one could tell them apart. So in this play, Tom really tries to make a difference between the two. So Guildenstern, the character I play, he's witty, smart, almost too smart for Rosencrantz. Rosencrantz is the exact opposite. He's very simple-minded, as you would expect. And for Guildenstern, it's basically a struggle throughout the entire play just to figure out who he is, who Rosencrantz is. Sometimes he even gets his own name wrong, And it's a struggle, an internal struggle to figure out where we are, why we're here, and what our plan is.
Okay, now who plays Rosencrantz?
Nick Hartman.
Okay. Oh, another good name that we know.
There you go.
And Bill, you said you're delighted to have this wonderful cast, so tell me who some of the other cast members are.
Well, besides Ryan and Nick, we have Joe Rybarczyk playing another lead role.
Our very own Joe.
Our very own Joe Rybarczyk as the player, who is, if you'll recall from Hamlet, he's the leader of the tragedians who arrive at court and are instructed by Hamlet to play the murder of Gonzago, because they want to draw the king out to find out if he actually did murder Hamlet's father, the previous king. And so it's Joe's role, the role of the player, is wonderfully funny and witty. He almost plays sort of a trickster character in a way. He's been called sort of the puppet master because he not only leads his players, the tragedians, but he also seems to have some kind of foreknowledge of what's happening in the play. And so he's almost a commentator, chorus member role, but wonderful lines, wonderful writing in this play. It's incredible dialogue.
Okay, next, who else?
Who else have we got in it? Let's see here. As far as the tragedians go, we have a number of young people who are, some of them, I don't think there are any first-timers on the stage. We have William Schultz as one of the tragedians, Garrett Flanner, Logan Den Blaker. Yep, and let's see who. And Thomas Jor plays Alfred. Wonderful role of one of the players. Quite humorous as well. And Thomas is very well suited to the role. I could tell. My casting, but they're wonderful. We have Josh Goujon plays Hamlet. Let's see who else. We have Amanda Halsey as Gertrude the Queen, and coming on to play Claudius will be Rick Messler. And you'll probably recall Bruce Michaud.
Yes.
He plays Polonius in this. And then I believe a first-timer, Natalie, will be playing the role of Ophelia. And so this is, we've got a fair-sized cast in this one. Some folks who've been around for a while, Others are pretty close to either first time on stage, maybe, or at least first time on the Alpena Civic Theater stage. We're delighted to have Ryan with us. He just, when I had auditions, I had never seen Ryan on stage before. He showed up at the auditions, and I thought he killed it. He did a great job. He and Nick Hartman have just marvelous chemistry together on stage, and which works very well because it's quite fast-paced in parts, and the dialogue that goes on between them can be pretty rapid fire, and the timing is important.
Oh, yes.
And I thought they nailed it at the auditions, and then during the read-through, some of the other board members from the theater were there, and they pretty much confirmed it for me. They said, "Oh, this is going to be a wonderful play. Those guys are great. They work so well together already."
So you have quite an intense rehearsal schedule?
It's for me and Nick, we're there every single time there's a rehearsal. Like, it's split up for everyone, makes it nice for some people that are like, even the player, he's not there every single time. He's still a big role. But when it comes to me and Nick's part, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, we're there
Constantly.
every time that the place is open, basically. Every rehearsal, no matter what, if it's called and you don't see your name, you know you're there anyway. You have to be.
Well, these guys have such demanding roles. Nick and Ryan never leave the stage. They are on constantly for the entire production, and they are continually involved in dialogue. So when you look at the play, it's 90 pages of dialogue, mostly between them. The other characters enter the stage, move around, but these guys are it. And so they're really, I really knew that I was putting a lot on them to be able to do this, but I have complete faith in my actors. I know that they're wonderful and they're doing a great job.
Okay, you reeled us in. So when can we come and see it?
Well, you can come and see it. We open May 10th.
Okay.
And it will run to the 20th. And as always, we run Thursday through Sunday, 7:30 for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and 2 o'clock on Sunday. You can call the box office. We'll be opening this Monday.
Okay.
And before the performance schedule starts, you'll be able to get somebody in the box office between 3 and 6 p.m. Monday through Thursday.
Okay, and that number is?
354-3624.
Very
I memorized
good.
it this time.
Very good, you remembered it. Well, it sounds exciting, and I encourage people to get their tickets in advance because it always sells out.
Oh, I think you'll really, really enjoy it.
Thank you so very much.
Oh, thank you.
Of course.
I'll be right back with some information from Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary following these messages. Hi, welcome back. I'm with Erin Pilarski, who is an education coordinator at Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary. Good morning, Erin.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Good to have you here, and I'm excited. I know that people say there's nothing to do in our community, but I know with you and the library and the theaters and the museum that there's so much to do, and it's the things that there are to do are rich in the culture and with our community and what goes on in our community.
Absolutely, yes.
So I know you have an event going on next week. Start me with that.
Yeah, sure. So we have an event on April 26th.
Okay.
It is a lecture. It's part of our lecture series.
Okay.
It is about the Eastland shipwreck. The Eastland, I won't go too much into detail, but it'll be presented by Dr. Caitlin Perry Dial from the Michigan Historical Women's Center.
Wow.
Yes, so she'll be coming up to present. It'll be at 7 p.m. Again, April 26th.
Okay.
And it's free to the public.
Okay, and just you know where the Eastland, where did it go down?
So what had happened is it actually capsized while docked.
Oh.
So it's one of the Great Lakes most tragic event.
Wow.
Ship event. So.
Okay, well that adds a little more interest to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you wanna stop on in to the Great Lakes Maritime Heritage Center and hear that presentation.
Yes, I do. Next.
So we have that coming up, and also stay tuned to our calendar, online calendar. We'll have other films and lectures going on throughout the year. So that'll be at least every month.
Okay.
Also, we are gearing up for summer, hopefully.
Yes, please,
hopefully. Hopefully this is our last big snow hurrah. So summertime. We have a bunch of summer programs we're planning.
Okay.
So previous years we've done programs geared towards students between the ages of 5 to 6, 7 to 9, and 10 to 12.
Right.
Last year, I helped to bring forward some more programming to the sanctuary, and this year we're adding even more.
Wow.
So we're getting bigger every summer. Topics vary between there's junior maritime archaeology. They will measure shipwrecks and go on glass bottom boat tours. We have Great Lakes exploration through art class. So we will be observing the Great Lakes and the environment, and also the shipwrecks in the sanctuary, and creating art pieces related to all those topics.
You know, what an opportunity to have all those programs in your own backyard where people,
Right.
you know, far away wouldn't even have that opportunity to do these things. And you always keep everything very affordable, and
Yes.
you always are accommodating of the hours and the time. So
Yes, and we keep in mind that a lot of families come up here on vacations. So we like to keep our programs shorter. It's like 1-day programs, 2-day programs. So people traveling who've never been to Alpena,
Yes.
they will see that we're offering maybe a 1-day or 2-day program. They can sign up their children
Perfect.
and attend, get a little bit of our culture here.
great. All right. And what about robotics?
Robotics. So we are heavily focused on STEM education.
Yes.
So part of our summer programming is we are offering some family days, open house ROV events, and it'll be at least once a week, if not once every other week, where families can bring in their children and learn how to build an underwater robot.
Wow.
And they can test it around in our tank. We have an indoor tank, not the giant one that's outside covered in snow right now, but we do have a smaller one, and they'll get to learn the basics of an ROV, a remotely operated vehicle.
And you know, that all started when Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary came to town. And look at our teams are going to nationals. They've been state, local, regional winners, and it's amazing. And think of how many minds are being influenced.
It's truly amazing. When I went to high school like a million years ago, I didn't have that many opportunities for building robots, for engineering, all that
Right.
thing. So when I came about for this position, I'm learning with the kids, and it is truly amazing what
It
they can
is.
accomplish. And I'm working with some ROV teams already for competition in May, and it's just amazing what they're accomplishing. And I'm so glad we have that part as a part of our community.
I am too. And when, you know, with the class at the college, when they finish that class, I mean, the world is their oyster. There's so many places they can go. There's so many things they can do with that degree. And these kids who are starting out at young ages with the robotics, I mean, thinking they're learning while having fun, and, you know, the science and the technology and the manufacturing and, you know, the engineering and the arts, that's all there while they're learning how to do something fun.
Absolutely, yes. And I mean, we throw in a bunch of games with it, and challenges too. So it's truly amazing to see how far they've come throughout these programs, and they're always wanting to come back and
yes.
repeat them. And
That's a wonderful thing. So what else is going on?
so we have those programs in the summer. Again, we have those lectures and movie series going on. Also, our glass bottom boat tour.
Yes.
Those will be starting in May, so stay tuned for our summer schedule for that.
And I know you have a lot of school kids that take advantage of that.
Yes.
And I'm sure you still have openings, so if someone's watching,
Yep.
a teacher says, hey, I want my kids to get some of this cool things that we've been talking about, what would they do?
Yeah, so if they're interested in getting their kids involved with some of these programs, or if they're interested in taking their classroom on a cruise, on a glass bottom boat cruise, they can visit thunderbayfriends.org, and they can certainly fill out a group form, and we can accommodate them.
Okay.
To the best of our ability, of course. With weather, things can happen, but we definitely can get them on our schedule for the glass bottom boat tours.
And mentioning Thunder Bay Friends, a wonderful group and organization
yes.
that's the heart of Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary. They're always looking for volunteers.
Yes, always looking for volunteers, and also they are the heart of these programs as well. If not for them, these programs would not be available to the public like they are.
And same thing, you can go on the website
Yep.
and then the Sanctuary store, come on on in and see all the beautiful, wonderful, unique products that are in the Sanctuary store.
Absolutely.
If you want something to take back to another town or send to somebody from another town, that's a perfect place to get some unique items.
Absolutely.
My
yes.
niece was here from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and she bought a whole bunch of stuff because she works for the federal government, and she's just so excited to take everything back to Albuquerque and show them, that she was in Alpena, on this wonderful sanctuary.
Oh yeah, I had a visitor this past summer come in from Puerto Rico and brought back a bunch of windbreakers from our
Perfect.
sanctuary. So
And they're so affordable. I have a hot
Yes.
pink windbreaker that I just love.
I love them. I
do
love
too.
them. So
Okay, anything else you want to add today?
that will be it for now. I want to thank you for inviting me onto the show.
I want to thank you for being here. And once again, just if anyone's interested in volunteering, if you need any schedules for anything we've talked about today, go online, go on your Facebook page.
Yep, Facebook. We have a Twitter, thunderbayfriends.org, as well as our Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary website page.
And they're all wonderful, wonderful websites, very interactive. You can
Informative, definitely
yes,
informative.
Yes, very much so. Thank you so very much for being here. I look forward to talking to you next month.
All right.
Please stay tuned for Dr. Don McMaster following these messages.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Dr. Don McMaster. I'm president of Alpena Community College, and I'm pleased to have as our guest this morning Mark Boyk, who's with Hunter's Harvest. Mark, welcome.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Well, thank you. Before we get started, I just want to let the community know that Hunter's Harvest recently made a very, very generous donation to Alpena Community College's food pantry, something we began in January, and they brought $1,300 worth of non-perishable goods to the pantry for free access to our students, and we want to thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And why don't you tell the folks a little bit about Hunter's Harvest?
Well, 38 years ago, Hunter's Harvest, my brother John was an avid hunter, fisherman, loved to cook wild game, and he got together with some of his friends and he says, you know what, why don't we put on a wild game dinner and the proceeds we can give to charity. So that's the way it began, and then about 2000, that was a Knights of Columbus function at that time.
Very good.
And then in 2003, we officially became Hunter's Harvest for Charity. We're designated a 501c3. And, since then, the program's really been going strong.
Wonderful. Your brother put a lot into it then, and he had a vision for giving back, it sounds like.
Yes, he just wanted to help the needy. If somebody was struggling, he wanted to help them. And unfortunately, he passed in 2007, and we definitely did not want this organization to cease. So I kind of stepped in as the president, and we've been going strong ever since and trying to help as many people as we can.
Wonderful. Well, it's a wonderful organization. Tell me a little bit about how many places you would distribute food to.
Well, basically, our two major donations are to food pantries. We partner with about 20 pantries right now. We have a giveaway in the spring, and then we have another one in the fall on a smaller scale. I would say, somewhere around 40% of our proceeds go to pantries. And then we do a lot with the people that have some hardship going on, maybe due to an accident, an illness. As you know, a lot of people have cancer.
Yes.
And we actually have our committee members, when they go into a retail establishment, if they see a poster, a benefit poster, that usually gets back to us, and then we send a check.
That's just good on so many levels. It's hard to know where to start. But a large amount of goods get donated by your group to needy people.
Oh, definitely. I mean, we'll spend, $30,000 on pantries.
Yes.
And then maybe another $20,000, let's say, that goes to individuals in need. And it's satisfying to be able to, give them a shot in the arm. I mean, we can't solve all their problems, but to be able to, fill somebody's propane tank because their heat's going to be shut off, or they got to go to Mayo Clinic, and we bought airplane tickets for somebody that's got to go to Mayo Clinic the next day.
Wow.
You know, so
Very impressive. Well, from our end, we saw a need. We have seen a need, and we acted on it this year. We do have students that have not enough to eat. You know, it's not something that people come out and tell you.
right.
You have to kind of be observant, and our faculty and staff are. We do have food service, very good food service at the college, but you know, it's you know, people have to pay for the food. That's the way that works, but sometimes they can't.
Right.
And so we started a food pantry in January, and we've just stocked it with donations from faculty and staff and administrators. And the students were accessing it. It was doing just what we were supposed to do. And Trustee Hilberg, Lisa Hilberg, Dr. Hilberg.
That's who called me.
Yes,
Yeah.
she said, "Hey, I know about Hunter's Harvest. Have you connected with them?" And I knew about you folks, but I would not have made that connection. So kudos to Lisa. What did she ask? What did she
Well,
say?
she called me and she said, we're starting a food pantry at the college. And I said, well, you're calling the right person. I says, we can help you. We're actually doing a giveaway the following week. She called like 1st of April, and then April 6th we were at Great North Food, and a couple of your workers came over there with
They
a
did.
trailer and loaded them up and took it back to the college. So we were glad we could help you.
Wow, $1,300 is a lot of non-perishable food items. You know, juice and cereal and just all kinds of things that are good, and students are accessing it. So I'm just curious, going back to Hunter's Harvest, what sort of wild game do you folks have there that raises this amount of money?
Well, we have the venison, we have
Sure.
elk and moose. Sometimes those things are hard to get. Guys don't want to give it up, you know, but, and rabbit, wild boar, what else would we have?
How's wild boar?
Great. Yeah, we have a great cook that does a good job for us, and we'll have hors d'oeuvres, and actually it's a wild game combination with prime rib.
Oh.
So if someone doesn't like wild game, they can have prime rib.
They'll like that, then they've got an option.
There's not too many people who don't like prime rib.
No, there's not.
So, and we sell like 550 tickets. And we're sold out every year. We're thankful that people are crying for them, basically. That tells us we're doing a good job. We give away great prizes. We have wild live auction, silent auction.
Wonderful.
Lots of raffles, 50-50s. And it's amazing, you know, my hat is really off to the attendees, because obviously without them spending their hard-earned dollars, we couldn't make the money that we make.
Well, I just thank you so much. You are doing great work, and great work for the community. It's a noble thing. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Don.
And thank you folks for watching Talk of the Town. We'll see you again next week.
This has been Talk of the Town with your host, Nancy Smitham and Dr. Don McMaster. For a list of community events taking place in Northeast Michigan, please visit our website at wbkb11.com and click on our community link. This has been a Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation production.